Alright, Shalom, Shalom. Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, all higher praise, honor, glory to Yahweh. Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Krakwadash. And of honors to the elders, sing honors to the apostles. Preaching and teaching us the word truth and with sincerity as always. Without any further ado, I just want to get into this lesson. Just to bring out some edification, exhortation unto the elect. Alright. Anyways. Find it here. A lot is going on. A lot is going on, basically. You just had a partial eclipse that happened today, earlier today. Where I live here, it happened around 1 p.m. So I actually missed it. But it would have been barely even visible over here in Grand Rapids, but it's regardless it's a sign. Doesn't make me feel as much guilty for missing it because it was barely visible, but regardless of that, it was a sign from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And ironically, a lot of judgments too just happened today, just today, and particularly in the city where I live in, and all across the world right now. So I find it very poetic, I guess you can say, poetic, that you had the fucking solar eclipse and then or partial solar eclipse and then the judgments happening, as you saw today. All right. Okay. So, yeah, man, that's what happened. I'll start with this here. This just happened. The title is Sinkhole Closes Westbound 196 M40. Allegan County, Michigan. A large sinkhole has closed the stretch of westbound I-196 in Allegan County. According to Allegan County Sheriff's Office. Drivers who travel that stretch of highway should expect backups. Yeah, so basically, you had a sinkhole that appeared on this highway here. And so that's a judgment from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, bro. Yeah.
Where can you find top name brand products at low local prices? Only at Nowara Brothers Home Store. Our expert staff will work with you to select the perfect appliance, mattress, or TV that fits your lifestyle and your budget. Hurry in to Nowara Brothers store-wide Earth Day sale. Save big and take advantage of special financing on all LG appliances.
Yep, and you had another judgment happen, which was here. The title was Asphalt Dump Truck Rolls on US 131 in Grand Rapids. And I actually think I know where this is as well. This is here. Crews cleared a pile of asphalt off of US 131 in Grand Rapids after a dump truck overturned Wednesday, police say. Yeah, so another judgment from the Lord. This is investigations showed the car was merging onto 131 and cut off the dump truck, causing it to roll. Statements from witnesses matched the investigation's findings so far, police said. Hey, so that's judgment from the Lord, man. And this is where I live near. Yeah, this happened where I live. So here in the photo, I know exactly where this is. Yep, that was the judgment from the Lord. And rightfully so on these people, because these people are off. And also because you got stupid drivers out here that can't drive, that drive recklessly. So this is why this happened too. This judgment from the Lord ultimately, basically. The driver, they said the driver had suffered burns in his back and a broken arm. And it says it reopened before 6 p.m. August 12th. So this happened just today. Today. Well, during around the same day. Well, yeah, in the same day as the solar eclipse today, because it still is August 12th. 2026. The time is 8:30 p.m. right now. The weather is hot as fuck outside. Wind is maybe 0 miles per hour. So this one here, the title is 16 hospitalized after lightning struck prison as inmates were returning from evening meal. The following day, officials shared that 7 people remained hospitalized, with 1 in serious condition. No reported deaths and no staff injuries were reported. So this lightning strike hit a jail and injured, what does it say, 16 inmates. Gone. And you got droughts happening. So, yeah. Title of this article reads: Water levels in America's largest reservoirs are getting scary low. Some 30 million people are directly impacted by risks to Lake Mead. And that's a photo of Lake Mead right there. That's a photo of Lake Mead there. So once again, this is right just on the day of this solar or lunar partial solar eclipse. I think it's called partial solar eclipse. This is happening right during this time, so it's no coincidence. All this up here. Shit. Keep that there. So I'm gonna go to Joel 2. Joel 2. Two and 10. The earth shall be quaked before them, the heavens shall tremble, the sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. Con. Sun's gonna be dark. And dropping down to verse 31. The sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of Yahweh come. The sun shall draw it's shining on. So that's right there. Yeah. And this is Joel, the 3rd chapter, verse. Yes, verse, and also in Joel 3:15, the sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining, and that's what we saw. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the sun just got a partial solar eclipse today. Now I looked it up where I could see it in my area, which is in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Today on August 12th, this is when this eclipse had just happened. Now it's already passed, but basically around where I am, it began. They say it was beginning at around 1:01 p.m. and then its peak at 1:30 p.m. and then it ended at around 2 or 1:58 p.m. to be exact. And they say the next lunar event, a partial lunar eclipse, will be visible on August the 28th this year, this month. So they got another one coming up later around the end of this month. And this one just happened today. So yeah, man, got an article on it. They're showing some photos. It says the moon completely covers the sun in this photo of the total solar eclipse that was taken from an observatory in Acros de las Salinas, Spain, on Wednesday, August 12th. So this was from the partial eclipse that happened today. And of course, you got these idiots standing there watching it, but they don't know what it means. They don't know what it means. And if they knew any better, they would be fucking scared, because that means the end is coming. And by automatically, it means the end for them. The end for them and their lives and whatever they hold dearest to them. Because trouble's coming, basically. Trouble is coming, man. Trouble is coming. Jacob's trouble. It says the total. Okay, so my bad. It's called a total. It was a total solar eclipse. It just wasn't that visible for over here where I am. It wasn't really that visible as the last one that happened a couple years back. But yeah, a total solar eclipse created a stellar spectacle for millions of people on Wednesday. The celestial phenomenon occurs when the moon moves between the sun and Earth. Casting a shadow on our planet that completely blocks the sun's light from some areas of the world. Basically, the moon blocks the sun that's supposed to light our Earth. People in Greenland, Iceland, northern Russia, Spain, and a small portion of Portugal witnessed the skies go dark for about 2 minutes. Those in Spain enjoyed a rare sunset eclipse and watched the crescent sunset afterward. Meanwhile, a partial eclipse in which the moon appears to take a bite out of the sun occurred over the northern United States, Canada, much of Europe, and northwestern Africa. Okay, so it actually was a solar eclipse slash partial eclipse. I guess it was a bit of both. Yeah. Yeah, so that's a bit of information on that. As we brought out in Joel 3:15, Joel 2. And I'm going to just ask AI here. I'm asking an AI here, what does a solar eclipse mean spiritually? It says right, a solar eclipse acts as a cosmic reset button when the moon blocks the sun. It symbolizes a powerful merging of light and shadow. This alignment represents deep inner transformation, the clearing out of old habits, and a heightened threshold for personal rebirth and fresh starts. And that's basically what the elect is doing every day. But it says here, Abrahamic and monotheistic perspectives viewed as awe-inspiring reminders of the Creator's power, majesty, and the temporary nature of the material world, often prompting prayer and reflection. All of these are basically on point. But I want to look up what does it mean biblically. Let's see what it says here. While the Bible does not explicitly use the term solar eclipse, it frequently describes the sun being darkened. Scriptures use these dramatic celestial moments as symbols of divine creation, future judgment, and end times prophecy. Yeah, that's what it is, man. Created by God. Genesis states that the sun, moon, and stars are made by God to rule the day and night and to serve as signs for seasons and years. Now, here's where they're more on point. And they're kind of like softening it up a bit and not really trying to speak on the bad side to this sign. The nasty part to what this solar eclipse means is judgment. And they also put the death of Yahweh Shai here. They put Jesus, but yeah, the death. It also represents the death of Yahweh Shai in a way, but ultimately it represents his return, which is going to be the judgment to America, the destruction for America, the death of Yahweh Shai. Because when Yahweh Shai died, it was done, and he was able to return again. Yeah. Because when he died, a solar eclipse happened as well, and that also represented how the beginning of the Jacob's trouble. And ultimately, we still haven't gone into the full measure of Jacob's trouble, the death and darkness that's gonna come. This third temple being destroyed, this temple, this second temple being destroyed, which represents the flesh in this world and all lawlessness, wickedness, and the new third temple being restored, which is only going to happen through mass tribulation, mass hour of temptation, the ushering in of that hour of temptation, and the death and the much death that's going to follow with that as well. So, and with that, the lake of fire, which is America being burned, and those who are left here with America to be in the lake of fire. So yeah, ultimately that's what that represented. The solar eclipse, because they celebrate that shit, but that shit. But they celebrate that without knowing what it means. You know what it means. Now, before I get to the other article, just to get a scripture real quick. I'm gonna get this. Second Ezra 16, and I'll just get the point. Verse 18. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish, are sin and scourges for amendments. Yep, famine's coming. Because that's why I have this article here that's entitled Corn, Soybeans Rally After USDA Yields Come Up Short. USDA also hikes planted acres, pushing production above trade expectations. Strong demand signals tighter corn stocks in 2027. Yeah, that's the point there. The title of the article says it all. Corn, soybeans rally after USDA yields come up short. And I have this here. Literal, as the title is, water levels in America's largest reservoirs are getting scary low. Some 30 million people are directly impacted by risks to Lake Mead. I think we read this already. This is in Colorado. They say Lake Mead, the largest reservoir in the United States, fell to its lowest on record. Its water level dropped even farther over the weekend, and experts say it could continue to fall through the rest of the year. Yeah, that's bad. Oh, yeah, it says this new record broke the record low set on July 28th, 2022. And I remember when I saw this record here, and I made a video on this as well, on this past record. So that's the spirit right there, and just proof that the Lord is dwindling this bitch that low, man. This bitch America low. Lake Powell, the second largest reservoir in the U.S., is also critically low. In July, a group of Colorado river experts found that the combined volume of water stored in Lake Powell and Lake Mead was the lowest it's been since 1957. They say of the 54 western reservoirs by the Bureau of Reclamation, 9 recently recorded their lowest levels in the last 3 decades, the Associated Press reports. Here the subheading says the consequences of a record warm winter. As with most environmental crises, there is no single force driving the Colorado River drought. Rather, a combination of chronic water overconsumption and climate change have set the stage for the record lows we're now seeing. These current conditions stem largely from a historic snow drought that deprived the basin of meltwater this past spring. Over 70% of the Colorado's river natural flow originates from snowmelt, but in March, Colorado's snowpack sat at just 40% of normal levels. It's now safe to conclude that this has been the worst year for Colorado snowpack in recorded history. Colorado State University climatologist wrote in a blog post on April 2nd. And so that's the point there, man. And here it says, I'll just get this. Experts predict flows in the Colorado River could drop another 30% by 2050, which we believe we ain't gonna be here by 2050. So yeah, that's thanks to Esau, these Amalekites ruling, the wicked ruling. They wouldn't mind that. They don't mind destroying this earth that they have to live in. That's just how these devils are. That's how they work. When the wicked rule, the people mourn. So they're gonna have a lot of people there that rely on the color. They said 30 million, there are about 30 million people relying on the Colorado River reservoirs there. The largest reservoir in U.S. Lake Mead. Lake Powell, the second largest reservoir which is very near Lake Mead. you're gonna have a lot of people that rely on that water if and when it runs dry. Morning. Proverbs 29:2. That's why it's Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Yep. That's why this is Isaiah 10 and 1. Woe unto thee them that decree unrighteous decrees and that right grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. And what will ye do in the day of visitation, and in the day of desolation, which shall come from far? To whom will ye flee from help, and where will ye leave your glory? Yeah, so that's what's happening. Judgments are coming up. Once again, as I said, I brought out in 2nd Ezra 16, 18, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of the wars, and then this third war that's going to pop off. It's only going to make things even worse for these Babylonians. This is in Isaiah 19, I think. I would say the Egyptians against the Egyptians. These Americans are going to be fighting each other for the last number 1, Big Mac. Number 2, Combo. They'll be fighting each other for the last large soda. Baja Blast, all that shit, man. Your famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Behold, the victuals shall be so good cheap upon the earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sore famine and great confusion. So it says, even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sore famine and great confusion. 22. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. And the dead shall be cast out as dung. Many people are going to die from this famine, from this death that's going to come by Jacob's trouble. And there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down. Yeah, because they're going to be shooting missiles here, a couple of missiles down here to America before the whole 200 million missiles get shot over here. And that's just what's going to happen. So you have that huge ass sinkhole happened in my city. You had this asphalt truck that tipped over. And then you also had this restaurant that these people love here so much. It actually ended up getting burned down. Yeah, here after fire, family-run restaurant looks to rebuild. The family that runs the restaurant is turning to the community for support with a fundraiser scheduled for this weekend. It says this woman founded it, Tina Santoyo. Yeah, so that's an all-women's restaurant. So that might be why the Lord judged. Well, that is why the Lord judged it, because these women are proud. These women are proud. So the Lord judged these women by burning this restaurant, because it was founded by this woman named Tina Santoyo, and as you see, they are Israelites, and the Israelite woman is one of the proudest women, because most of them are wicked and defiled on this side in America, thanks to Esau. And I actually know where this is. This is this happened a while back. Yeah, the Israelite woman is the proudest woman. So once again, the judgments are going out. Scripture say, the Lord renews his judgment day by day, but the unjust know of no shame. Roughly paraphrasing. Another scripture reads, Lord is angry with the wicked every day. And it says in Job, another scripture in Job goes like, I forgot how it goes. I'll just get this. What happens if Lake Powell and Lake Mead both fell? This article says, if Lake Powell and Lake Mead both hit dead pool, the water stops moving to 7 states and Mexico. Yeah, so that 7 means complete. So it just reminded me of the last article we read about that restaurant that got burned down, owned by that Israelite woman. I'm guessing she was maybe Zebulon or Issachar. The restaurant was called 7 Seas. I think that's how you say it in English. In Spanish, it's called Siete Mares. And then here it says, about Lake, this on this article here, it's a whole different article. It says about Lake Mead and if Lake Powell and Lake Mead fell. It says that the water stops moving to 7 states. So that's another the number 7 once again here in this article as well. So that just shows you how the Lord's breaking the number 7 out of the life in Babylon. The complete life from Babylon. 7 means complete. It says the dams go quiet first, losing their power. They send across the southwest, and the liberty itself becomes the problem. Some places have bought themselves time. Others would feel the cut within a single season. The Colorado River keeps flowing either way. What disappears is the reserve that carries the region through its dry years. Failure comes in stages, not all at once. Hydropower goes first, then reliable releases, and finally delivery itself at Deadpool. And there's a photo of it. You can see where it used to be high there, and now it's getting low. And that's spiritual because that's really what Babylon represents. The wicked are destroying their own empire here. Because as the scriptures say, there is no knowledge in wickedness. He that doeth evil unto himself to whom shall he do good? As the scripture says, roughly paraphrasing. A reservoir can still contain billions of gallons while losing its usefulness. Hydropower depends on hydraulic head. The height difference between the reservoir surface and the turbines. As the lake falls, water reaches the turbines with less pressure, reducing electricity production. Eventually, the surface drops below the lowest elevation at which the generating system can operate. Yeah, that's the point right there. And assume that's also another thing that's going to happen. The power is going to go out all across America. You got in New York, the article from Fox says, how much will it rain in New York by the end of the month? Experts at Kalashi are predicting an 88% chance of over 4 inches of precipitation by the end of August, along with a 65% chance of over 5 inches. Well, here you also got this. The title from this article says, how the water shortage in Puerto Rico is affecting people's travel plans. Parts of the islands is facing a historic drought combined with aging infrastructure, and one of the areas affected has a high number of Airbnb rentals. Yep. So that's judgment right there as well. Scriptures talk about this, how we just brought it out in 2nd Esdras. And that's why this is Zephaniah 1. Verse 14. The great day of the Lord is near, hasted greatly, even the voice of the day of the Lord Yahweh, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, a day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers. And I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men, because these men are here, they're not going to know what to do. They haven't prepared for this, but some people prepared carnally, but ultimately it's best to prepare spiritually through this faith, if the Lord allows you to, because they have sinned against the Yahweh, and their blood shall be poured out as a dust, and their flesh as the dung. Come on. And speaking on that, Conan, you also have I want to play this real quick. So you can see on the screen there that Taiwanese jets getting ready to take off. Taiwanese Air Force conducted an emergency fighter jet scramble drill Friday at Air Force Base as part of the annual Hong Kong Kuyang military exercise, military readiness to respond to potential threats. The exercise featured ground crews rapidly loading air-to-air missiles on Mirage 2000 fighter jets before the aircraft would be prepared for deployment. Troops also carried out runaway repair training designed to restore airbase operations. After simulated attacks. The drill is part of on-long exercises, Taiwan's largest annual military training event. Began Wednesday and is intended to strengthen the armed forces' combat capabilities and operational preparedness. They're doing this because of China and Taiwan.
我们平常在训练的时候，实弹跟装备的部分都会依照既定去做检查。那在演习期间，我们会加强我们的演练作为，那透过非计划性、不定期，还有那个无预警的方式来做演练，来反复练习。
其实我们在针对这个战术的话，它目前我们因为时间的限制，所以我们把因为我们今天多久？目前我们因为时间的限制，所以我们把因为我们今天多角范围，所以我们会尽快先完成这个
China's claims the self-governed island as its own territory has increased military pressure on Taiwan in recent years to frequent air and naval operations around the island. Taiwan rejects Beijing's sovereignty claims and says it is committed to strengthening its defense against potential aggression. Once again, wars and rumors of wars. Wars and rumors of wars. That's what you see happening. I got this right here. It says Luke 21, verse 5, it says Yahweh speaks of the destruction of the temple. Some of the disciples were talking about the temple, how beautiful it looked with its fine stones and the gifts offered to Yahweh. Power, Yahweh said, all this you see, the time will come when not a single stone here will be left in its place. Everyone will be thrown down. And that's essentially what he was saying about 70 AD. When after his death, how Jerusalem got destroyed by the Romans, and it's going to happen again. Verse 7 to 7 says, troubles and persecutions. Teacher, they asked, when will this be and what will be happen in order to show that the time has come for it to take place? Yahweh said, watch out and watch out. Don't be fooled. Many men claiming to speak for me will come and say, I am he, and the time has come, but don't follow them. Verse 9, don't be afraid when you hear of wars and revolutions. Such things must happen first. But wars do not mean that the end is near. But they do mean that the end is near. Now in the KJV it says, but the end is not yet. Now they went off of this translation by putting that. It doesn't mean the end is near. No. In the time we're in right now, with the mark of the beast, technology here, and all these nations fighting each other, particularly the U.S. against anti-West nations like what's it called? Iran, Russia, Ukraine. Yeah, man, those wars definitely can tell us, tell us the end is near, and it's near. He went on to say countries will fight each other, kingdoms will attack one another. There will be terrible earthquakes, famines, and plagues everywhere, and that's what we're seeing: plagues, famines, earthquakes. With those that took the jump shot, that was a plague. It's been everywhere now. There will be strange and terrifying things coming from the sky. Yeah, the eclipses. So before all these things take place, however, you will be arrested and persecuted. We haven't been at that time yet when brothers are gonna get persecuted for this word and whatnot. You will be handed over to be tried in the synagogues and put in prison. You will be brought before kings and rulers for my sake. This will be your chance to tell the good news. Make up your minds ahead of time not to worry about how you will defend yourselves. Because that time's going to come soon too as well. Because I will give you such words and wisdom that none of your enemies will be able to refute or contradict what you say. You will be handed over by your parents or your brothers, your relatives, and your friends, and some of you will be put to death. Everyone will hate you because of me, but not a single hair on your heads will be lost. Stand firm, and you will save yourselves. Now I'm going to get this last article here. Going into this. ICE, the subheading that says CNN says ICE plans to spend up to $20 million on electrical shock gloves for agents. Yeah, bro. ICE agents clash with protesters outside the Federal Immigration Center at Delaney Hall in Newark, New Jersey on May 28th. Yeah, so this was a couple months back. So ICE is still out here, and I believe ICE is going to be the enforcement to arrest all you Americans when the time when martial law is declared, and even when they come and get the profits, they may just use ICE to come and get the profits as well. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents and officers may soon be equipped with gloves that deliver electrical shocks, which the manufacturer says are intended to de-escalate encounters with individuals. ICE is planning to spend between an estimated 10 and 20 million to purchase the devices known as CTG5 glove, which stands for Generated Low Output Voltage Emitter. According to a notice published Monday by the Department of Homeland Security, the devices would be delivered by March 31st, 2027. Amen. So there you go, man. And why would they be funding? Why would this government, which is already untrustworthy and corrupt when it comes to caring for their own American citizens, why would they be funding something that large to just any group? Because it's not just any group. Once again, Trump also signed about 50 billion budget for ICE to buy facilities, big ass warehouses, big ass empty warehouses near the train tracks, and damn near every state with also ammunition, with another 20. It was 20 million to buy guns, just to buy guns, ammunition, I think, or I think it was like 45 million. And yeah, man. When you go all into that, when you go all into that, on yeah, because when you go further back on around the 2016 on August 31st, 2016, Trump gave, when he was first get elected or whatnot, Trump gives a rally on having a proper tracking system. Yeah, and when you go into Trump's first month in office, he signed a, what was it, 500, he gave over 500 billion to AI and AI CEOs to keep funding, to continue to invest in AI, to start implement, so they can start implementing artificial intelligence in their system. Trump did that. Why would Trump do that? Because he's all with the system. He's with the wicked, the high elites, the ones above him. I see also Trump spent 40 billion on new immigrations. 40 billion on new. So like, I think I said million. It's actually 40 billion on new immigration centers. And I believe those are going to be the FEMA camps. Now they're just going to be called immigration centers, so they can trick you people. And one of the facilities that they bought was for 129 million. Which was over 1 million square feet, which is a 1 million square foot box with semi-truck loading docks. And then they bought another one in Pennsylvania around February 2026. It was earlier this year, under Trump administration, which was, they bought a warehouse for 87 million. So that's not even 1 billion yet. They already bought two big ass warehouses. This was a 520,000 square foot warehouse. And then they also bought a 1,500 bid processing facility bought by ICE for 70 million. Around earlier this year, late January. And these are just some of the warehouses that they bought. So those are just some that costed around close to 1 billion. That's just, and once again they got 40 billion, and they plan more to come with a budget of 38 billion. Also, when you go into it, they also said ICE is now the largest funded U.S. law enforcement agency. Yeah, why is that? Because ICE is going to be the dystopian new police state. Also, the ICE also has a large master database, and also in the process of building. Maybe they already have it. 8 new mega detention centers. They also bought a 60 billion image facial ID system. And these rail lines, these Amtrak routes, train routes, also have checkpoints to these ICE facilities. And then when you go into this one project that was called Rex 84, it was called Operation Night Train. If you know anything about Rex 84, it was a practice run, a military exercise where it was basically a roundup scenario. It's a roundup scenario. Which Rex 84 stands for Readiness Exercise 1984 Bravo. Signed by Reagan. So yeah, because these presidents are in on it. To arrest in an event of domestic state national security, citizens will be a threat. There we go, that says it all. They also had from 2024 to 2025 a 360% increase of budget to spend on weapons. ISIS also stockpiled weapons from private contractors and approved contracts of $144 million in weapons, ammunitions, and related accessories. So they have tens of millions for lethal weapons, thousand of AR rifles, pistols, optical sights, suppressors, 30 million for ammunition, 25 million for so-called less lethal weapons and crowd control devices such as tasers, pepper sprays, tear gas, canisters, and canister launches. Yeah, so there you go, man. This is what's gonna come down on Jake. And Jake is asleep. So there goes ICE, man. Then I would, yeah, I will keep my eyes out on ICE, because they're probably gonna pop up on the news again. They're probably gonna keep popping up every now and then from now on. ICE is. So Lord, will we keep our eyes out on any articles that mentions ICE or something about ICE, something big. Next big thing on ICE and whatever news outlet speaks on it. So yeah, all that while Jake is asleep, this is what's gonna happen. ICE is basically the devil is getting his armies and then their weapons as they're gonna use against you people already. Luke 21. That's why this is Luke 21:20. Yahweh speaks on the destruction of Jerusalem, 70 AD. This is when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, then you will know that it will soon be destroyed. Then those who are in Judea must run away to the hills. Those who are in the city must leave, and those who are out in the country must not go into the city. For those will be the days of punishment to make come true all that the scriptures say. How terrible it will be in those days for women who are pregnant and for mothers with little babies. Terrible distress will come upon this land, and God's punishment will fall on this people. Some will be killed by the sword, and others will be taken as prisoners. Yeah, the ICE and whatnot. Third war, the death, destruction, missiles. It's gonna kill a lot of people too. And the heathen will trample over Jerusalem until their time is up. And that's why I have this article too. This is the folly and bullshit here. This is from essence.com. The title reads, Hip Hop turns 53, celebrating LL Cool J, Nas, Jay-Z, and other icons still shaping the culture. Yeah, this shit right here is off. Yeah, that hip hop demon that's heavy on our people. That's all those distractions and follies and music. As the story goes of the piper with the music, who fooled all the people to following him through his music, and then he destroyed them basically. I forgot the story how that goes, but yeah. 25 to 7, it says, the coming of the Son of Man, there will be strange things happening to the sun, the moon, and the stars on earth. All countries will be in despair. Afraid of the war of the sea and the raging tides. People will faint from fear as they wait for what is coming over the whole earth. For the powers in space will be driven from their courses. Then the Son of Man will appear, coming in a cloud with great power and glory. When these things begin to happen, stand up and raise your heads, because your salvation is near. This is what the return of Yahushua, the 29th, the 7, and is the lesson of the fig tree. Then Yahushua told him this parable, think of the fig tree and all of the other trees. When you see their leaves begin to appear, you know that summer is near. In the same way, when you see these things happening, you will know that the kingdom of Yahweh is about to come. Remember that all these things will take place before the people now living have all died. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will never pass away. 34 to 7 is the need to watch. Be careful not to let yourselves become occupied with too much feasting and drinking. That's the majority of our people right now, and with the worries of this life, or that day may suddenly catch you like a trap, for it will come upon all people everywhere on earth. Jacob's trouble. It's going to be, as I said earlier in Zephaniah 1. They shall walk like blind men. The day of the Lord is near. It is very dark, and no brightness in it. 36. Be on watch and pray always that you will have the strength to go on safely through all those things that will happen, and to stand before the Son of Man. And that's the point. So with that, that's the point. Shalom. Blah, blah, blah.